Are you sick of seeing other people do well while you stay where you are? People fail most of the time not because they are weak but because they choose the wrong way. In this video, we'll look at Miyamoto Musashi's classic advice to find out why most people never make it and how to beat the odds, stand out, and make your life full of power, purpose, and success. Reason 1. Lack of clear goals. A lot of people just float through life without a clear goal. They get up, go to work, come home, and do it all over again. They don't understand why they're not happy as the days turn into weeks and then into years. It's simple. You can't hit something you can't see. Do nothing that is useless, Miyamoto Musashi said. In other words, everything you do must be in line with a clear goal. If your life doesn't have a plan, you waste time and energy on things that don't matter, trying to please other people or following trends. But when you make a clear goal, you can focus better, have more energy, and feel like you're living your mission. Goals give your life order. They bring order out of chaos. They make you want to get up, fight, and grow. Like a leaf in the wind, you'll be blown in any direction by life without them. To beat the odds, you need to have a plan. Figure out what your idea of success is. Describe it. Say more than, "I want to be happy" or "rich." Declare, "I want to make a business that changes lives," or "I want to be strong in body and mind." Having goals should light a fire in your heart. Musashi's life was full of fights, both outside and inside of him. He never got into a fight without a plan. In the same way, you shouldn't start your day without a plan. Write down your plans. Separate them into parts. Go over them every day. Change as you get bigger. When you're clear, you can move with purpose. You stop responding and start making things. A lot of people fail because they don't know where they want to go. But if you stay focused, controlled, and clear like Musashi, you can do anything. Reason 2. Fear of failure. One of the things that kills hopes the most is the fear of failing. It stops people from doing anything, stops them from being creative, and makes them settle for less. A lot of people would rather be safe than take a chance to fail. They don't understand, though, that failure is not the enemy. Fear is. You must know that there is more than one way to reach the top of the mountain, Musashi wrote at one point. This helps us remember that getting ahead isn't always easy. It has a lot of turns, detours, and yes, mistakes. Not every loss is a bad thing. It's okay to fail sometimes as long as you learn from it. People fail not because they fall, but because after they fall, they give up. One mistake made them who they were. But the truth is that failing doesn't mean you lose. When you stop, you lose. Musashi fought many duels, and many of them were against bigger, more experienced opponents. He was afraid, but he never let it stop him. But he did this because he thought that the way to control was to go into the unknown. He trained his mind to welcome stress instead of avoiding it. You need to change the way you think to get over fear. Ask, "What will I learn?" instead of, "What if I fail?" Don't see failure as a loss, see it as feedback. Know that every master was once a beginner who messed up, fought, and kept going. Do something brave even if you're not sure. Courage is not being afraid, it's choosing to go ahead even though you're scared. When you do something, fear goes away. Wait for it to grow. Musashi also said, "Today is victory over yesterday's self, tomorrow is victory over lesser men." The real fight is always inside of you. Nothing else can stop you once you get over your own fear. A lot of people fail because they let their fears take over. It's possible to become stronger if you learn to accept loss, learn from it, and keep going. Most people never find this strength. Reason 3. Procrastination. Putting things off is a bad habit that can waste time and make you miss out on opportunities. A famous person in Japanese history named Miyamoto Musashi thought that time was a weapon and that every second lost was a second that could never be won back. He talked about how important it is to know the hidden costs of doing nothing and how important it is to build, learn, and grow. "I put things off because I'm afraid, I want to be perfect, or I want to be comfortable." Musashi, on the other hand, thought it was important to move right away and always be ready. He thought people should be ready for life, even when it moves slowly. This means going to work every day, even when no one is looking, and moving forward even when it's slow. Musashi's road was one of constant preparation, which makes sure that you are always ready for life and battle. He thought that putting things off was just a way to feel good while pretending to be productive, so it was important to act now. You can move faster, smarter, and farther than people who are stuck in delay if you take on Musashi's sense of urgency, discipline, and battle mentality. Reason 4. Lack of discipline. Being disciplined is what makes goals possible. Even the best plans fall apart without it. It's not that most people don't know what to do, it's that they don't do it often enough. For Musashi, dedication was the most important thing in his life. He worked out every day, both mentally and emotionally. The mind, he thought, should obey the body, and the body should obey the mind. The way is in training, he said. It's not about desire to be disciplined. Having drive comes and goes. Stick to the rules. It gets you up early. It makes you keep going even when you're tired. It's what makes greatness possible. No one is great by accident. They have habits that help them do well. They pay attention, eat well, work out regularly, read every day, handle their time well, and focus hard. These actions are not random. There are rules for them. Musashi didn't believe in quick fixes. He knew that it takes work and time to become a master. You shouldn't have a favorite weapon, he said one time. What does that mean? Do not hold on to what is simple or helpful. Be ready to change, work hard, and grind. A lot of people don't think this way. They want benefits with little work. They want trust without having to say it over and over. But that's not how you get to be the best. With discipline, you do the little things over and over again until they become a part of who you are. Start small to build focus. Get up early. Write down your goals. Relax and think. Work out. Don't change your habits. Do what you say you'll do. These small actions add up over time and shape who you are. Musashi thought that you had to control yourself before you could control the sword. So, if you want to be in charge of your future, you must first be in charge of your habits. A lot of people fail because they give up when things get tough. Follow Musashi's road, though, and you will be in charge of your own life. Train every day, be focused, and live a disciplined life. Reason 5. Negative environment. The people you spend time with make you who you are. If you're always around people who are negative, lazy, or average, it's only a matter of time before you become like them. Most people fail because they let bad surroundings affect how they think and what they do. Miyamoto Musashi spent a lot of his life alone. It wasn't because he didn't like people, but because he knew how important it was to keep your inner world safe. It is hard to understand the universe if you only study one planet, he said at one point. These words mean that you can't grow if you only hear one way of thought. A bad setting makes it hard to see clearly. It makes you question your skills. It makes you think of fear and reasons not to do something. It tells you to give up, settle down, or act small. These voices start to sound like your own over time. Musashi knew that a fighter had to keep the mind and body safe. He sometimes chose to walk by himself because it helped him focus, train hard, and hear his own words over all the other noise in the world. There needs to be a change if the people around you make fun of your dreams, take your attention away from your goals, or drain your energy. There's no need to cut everyone out of your life, but you should make rules. Keep your energy safe like a fighter keeps his sword safe. Put yourself around people who make you feel good. People who push you to get better. People who are responsible for you and are happy for your growth. If you have to look for them in books, blogs, or online groups, do it. The place you're in will either help you on your journey or hurt it. Musashi didn't become famous by fitting in. He got to where he was by thinking for himself, training hard, and staying on his road. You need to be brave to choose places that raise your standards if you want to beat the odds. A lot of people fail because they can't get away from bad influences. But if you follow Musashi's advice and choose silence over noise and focus over distractions, you can rise above any situation and make your life strong and clear. Reason 6. No long-term vision. A lot of the time, people fail because they only think about today. For them, choices are based on short-term pleasure, not long-term goals. They want quick wins and results right away, but they don't have a clear picture of where they're going. It was Miyamoto Musashi's job to plan things out. He didn't just fight wars, he carefully planned them too. He told them, think little of yourself and a lot about the world. That is, Stop worrying about feelings that will only last a short time and start looking at the bigger picture. Life becomes impulsive when you don't have a long-term plan. You look for things to do, compare yourself to others, and settle for easy things over important ones. You forget that greatness isn't achieved in days, but through years of deliberate work. Musashi wanted to be in charge of himself as well as the sword. He chose to follow a road that required sacrifice, patience, and constant improvement. He didn't care about fitting in or being liked. Legacy was important to him. That's the difference between those who do well and those who don't. Ask yourself, what do I want my life to stand for? To help you see the big picture. What kind of mark do I want to leave? When you answer these questions, you have to step back and see your life as a goal, not a moment. Having a goal makes you strong. You can handle failure, boredom, and suffering if you know where you're going. You stop making choices based on how you feel and start making choices based on what they mean. Step by step, walk the 1,000-mile road. Musashi wrote another piece. For long-term goals, you don't need to rush. You just need to pledge every day. It's about keeping your mind on the task at hand as you take steady steps towards the mountain in the distance. A lot of people fail because they don't know what they're doing. The present is more important to them than the future. Musashi said to think ahead, be patient, and walk with purpose. If you do those things, you'll build a life that few people ever dare to dream of. Reason 7. Giving up too soon. When people face pushback, they often think it's a sign to give up, which is why most people fail. But success is on the other side of hard work. During his lifetime, Miyamoto Musashi fought over 60 duels and never lost. When things got tough, he got tougher instead of giving up. He thought that there were more than one way to get to the top of the mountain, but you had to keep going up. The last 10% of the trip is where breakthroughs happen and the pain is the worst. This is also when most people give up. Musashi thought that hardships made warriors stronger and that the more pressure you are under, the more potential you can reach if you don't break. He thought of loss as feedback, fuel, and fire, and he believed that giving up too soon takes away from who you could have become. If you want to beat the odds, you have to keep fighting, even if it gets boring, slow, or like nothing is working. To win in the end, be consistent. Musashi lived a lonely, dangerous, and difficult life, but he kept going, getting better at what he did, expanding his mind, and following his path. You can rise where others fall and win not just the fight but the war if you follow Musashi's lead.